Welcome to the Black Accents Club podcast. My name is Sakudini, and today I have with me.
Who am I?
Who are you?
Jahbarri Ahmed, the creator.
Okay. How do you pronounce your Instagram name?
How do I pronounce it? It's up to interpretation, really.
Because I just say insecure. I'm just
So
dyslexic, so
some
I just
people,
say insecure.
some people can say that.
It has no. I'm pretty sure it has no N in it, but that's what I say.
Yeah, it's an N towards the end. So what I did really is insecure is the word that I used, and then I flipped the U and the N in different spots.
Okay.
Because the U looks like an N if you turn
Right,
turn
and
it.
that's probably why most people just say insecure.
Yeah, some people say I use scenery or I use sacnery and yeah,
Well,
a
how
lot
do
of
you
different
pronounce
things.
it?
I don't pronounce it.
You don't pronounce. You just let other people pronounce it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's different. I like that. All right, so most people call him insecure, as his Instagram name, as he just described, and you are a creative artist.
Multidisciplinary artist. So acrylics, oils, sculpture, installation. I do a lot. I do it all.
All right, so tell us about your background. Like, where did you start?
Where did I start?
Like, what's your backstory?
Um, Started in preschool when my preschool teacher was like, "Oh, it's craft time. We're gonna make a gumby," and she made a gumby. And then she's just like, "It's you guys' turn." And I made my gumby, and it was like better than hers. So it's just like, "Oh, I think I like this. Like, I think I want to keep doing this."
Okay.
But that was my first inclination that I could do that, if you get me.
Okay.
First time I was aware of it.
And it just went from there.
Yeah, because I'm sure I'm probably been drawing and coloring all before
Right.
that.
Everyone was good at coloring inside. Well, not everyone. Most people good at coloring inside the lines. All right, so I got a few questions for you. So how did you get the name Insecure? Like, what made you come up with it?
Because when I was younger, I was like in my head a lot. I'm still in my head a lot, but not as much. And the pettiest things will make me feel insecure, so I'm trying to use it to my advantage. So just use it and be like, no, I'm gonna change this word, and this is not what it means to me anymore.
So, what does it mean to you now?
Creation.
Creation.
Yeah.
All right. When just basically ask you that. When did you start earning money from your art?
Did I start earning money? High school. I could have in middle school, but I was too kind, so I'll just draw stuff and then give it away.
Okay.
So somebody's just like, oh yeah, like, can you draw this for me? I'll pay you. It's just like, no, just have that. So, but high school is just like, okay, I should start making money.
Okay.
Cause yeah, middle school I'll sell glass candy and stuff, but I'll give my drawings away for free. So now I just had to look at it like, no, this should be flipped. I should give the candies away for free and sell my art.
So, when you started charging for it, like, how much were you charging?
How much? Started off always at, not always, but when I was younger, started off at 50. And
You just went from there.
yeah,
Okay.
50 for anything.
So that's
at
just a
that point.
base price, $50.
Yeah.
That's smart. Let's see. What would you say is the most that you sold your art for?
That's a good question because I've sold some art. Like,
Yeah.
right?
You had a few exhibits now, right?
Yeah, I have. I had how many? Like 2, 3, about 3.
Okay.
The most? I
Like
don't.
one piece of art.
I don't know
Not
if I want to
not into
disclose.
Was it okay? Was it sold from an exhibit or sold like outside an exhibit?
Oh, it was like personal. It was a commission.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So what about from an exhibit? Like, what was the highest?
The highest piece sold, I believe, was 800. No, it was actually $888.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had it set at 888, or was it a bid?
It was set at 888
So why the 3/8?
because 8. I look at 8 as a special number to me, like infinity and time.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the more time you have or the more time you put to something,
Mm-hmm.
the better you get at something.
Very true.
So I just really cherish time. But it doesn't exist, so I cherish just the moment or the present.
Makes sense. Cherish the present.
Yeah.
Um, what was your first art exhibit? Like, where was it? What was the
First
name of it?
art exhibit was at Masterworks, the 441 show.
Okay.
So, full Bermudian artists. And you have like a portion of the Ric Flair's gallery. It's not called that. The Ric Flair's gallery. And yeah, you show your art in like a corner. So they split the room up into four.
Okay.
And then you invite everybody, and the gallery invites people, and goes from there.
So with that, were you invited to that show, or you had to submit something to
I
get
was
into it?
invited to that show.
Okay.
Every show I've done so far, I've been invited to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who invites you? Like the Masterworks or someone
Yeah.
else?
On Masterworks, what's the word? Worker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, how did they know about you? To invite you?
It was not strange, but it just felt strange because this older lady was just like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of you. I've been following you on Instagram for so and so, and I work at Masterworks, and I would like to see more of your work." And
Okay.
that's how it
So
happened. It
that's
was
how
just
it
like,
went.
like it shocked me because I was young. I'm still young, but I was younger, and it was just like, wait, this older lady's been watching me, and she
Right.
wants to see, and it just made me happy
Okay, that's nice.
that people appreciated that.
It's definitely interesting that you said that because in life you never really know who's watching you
Right.
and what type of place they're in. Until they're ready, they'll always reach out when they're ready, when the timing is right. So to say.
Exactly.
So
And
that's
Instagram made that way easier. Well, just social media
right.
made
It's
that
made
way
that easy
easier.
for a lot of people, most definitely.
Because I feel like if we didn't have Instagram, do you feel like people would like give you your flowers as easily?
I feel like they'll probably give it to you a bit more
A bit more without
without
Instagram.
Instagram
Okay.
because that means they have to physically come and see you. They have to. They have to take their time to come and interact with you.
You're
They
right.
have to use their time
Mm-hmm.
to come and
For
do
sure.
what they want to support you versus on Instagram. Oh, scroll
Mm-hmm.
like.
Because I feel like, to me, I feel like it's like a crutch. So these people are saying it because they're not in front of you. But if they got in front of you, it's just like, I
It
don't
might be
know.
something different.
Mm.
Yeah, I definitely can agree
But
with
it could
that.
be a 50-50.
That's true.
I would say so.
I can agree with that because, like, with everything that I'm doing, I feel like I'm never getting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a few friends like, yo, don't say that because you're doing a lot of stuff. Like, look
feel
at where
me?
you came in the past year.
Mm-hmm.
But people on Instagram would never be able to say that to me. Like, then again, I just don't post on Instagram like that. I'm starting to change that, but just because of my journey and what I'm trying to do, so I have to share a bit more. But otherwise, I think the people closest to you will always tell you,
Mm-hmm.
and if they're always around you, they can always see the progress more than someone across the
Than a
screen.
stranger, yeah.
Yeah,
Understood. For sure.
yeah. Don't want to have too many awkward pauses.
No pressure.
So I stalked your Instagram for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what was Faces and Cases? I think
Oh,
that was a few
faces and
years ago.
cases. That was idea I had when I was in high school. S3, I believe. And I haven't found the right manufacturers to like help me figure that out.
So what is it that you're? Are you
So
okay with talking about what it is that you want to
yeah,
do? Okay.
like I was very excited to do it because basically just showing how black entertainers or just how black entertainers will end up in jail like a lot.
It's like I swear, like every day someone else is getting arrested.
You feel me? But now it's not even that every day someone's getting arrested. Now it's they're getting killed.
That too.
You feel me? Back then it was just like, oh, a rapper's been arrested for this or so and so or whatever. So it was just like looking at our culture and seeing how like toxic it could be and like messed up it can be.
Where
But while also, I guess, just still looking at them as human beings. Like it's like these guys are being caged right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they did this, maybe they didn't,
Okay.
but who knows?
Right. So what were you trying to do with it?
I was trying to sell like hoodies and shirts with the faces on it and whatever they supposedly got arrested for on the back,
Okay.
like with a whole description.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might be able to help you with that. So I have a clothing brand.
I
now.
appreciate it. I
So
appreciate it.
we can talk about that afterwards. Do you like to travel?
I love to travel.
Do you travel for your art or mostly just to travel?
I travel for both art and experience because I need experience to create art.
Okay. So like what sort of experiences are you looking for?
Just blissful ones and ones that remind me of how much gratitude I have within myself.
Okay.
So, just I love being in places that are super green, foresty, and then I also just like being in places where it's like new cultures and stuff, new smiles, new everything like that. I don't really like too much city type stuff unless
I'm
it's
with
a
you on that.
different styled city
Right. Yeah, I'm with you
other
on that.
than the
I'm not
Western world,
a, not a
right?
city person at all. I take
Right.
scenery, greenery, any day.
I'm not just
So-
trying to go to like malls and stuff. No,
It's
I'm trying to go
overrated.
hiking.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Find some place that you never seen before.
Exactly. I'm trying to
Explore.
talk to some locals. Trying to chill out.
So what's some of the places that you travel to?
Traveled to America. Traveled to London. Traveled to Japan. It was for a day. Traveled to France. And more to come soon.
Okay. Nice. I think you might like Iceland.
Iceland?
Go during the summer though.
Yeah?
Unless you're into the cold weather.
Not really.
But yeah, go during the summer. I went there 2018. I went in September, so it was cold, but it wasn't super cold.
It wasn't
but
freezing.
it was enough to still go on hikes and different things like that. The scenery is amazing,
Lovely.
just amazing. I definitely need to go back because
Mhm.
I only went for like a short period of time, so I
How
didn't get
long?
to do much. Pardon?
How long
Should you go for?
did you go for?
Oh, I went for I think like 4 days. I just went for a weekend.
Got you.
I think what is it? I had a surgery on my wrist, and my doctor gave me like a week and a half off. I was like, forget spending my time here. I can still walk.
I'm taking a trip.
I don't have to wear a cast. I ain't got nothing. Just
Mm-hmm.
take care of my scar. That's it. But I left, and then I came back.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely need to go back.
Where else have you been? Like that's
Where else have I been?
other than
Ooh,
the U.S.
okay. So I've been to London.
Hey.
I'm going back again next year. I've been to Guyana. I've been to Aruba, Jamaica.
How was Aruba?
Aruba was nice. It's basically a desert island.
Really
It's the easiest way to explain it. It's like Bermuda, but it's a desert.
wild.
Yeah. So there's no grass.
That's
just
crazy.
dirt.
I would have never imagined.
Windy. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but I still enjoyed it. Where else have I been? I've been Mexico
Hey. I'm trying to
and
get to
Dominican
Mexico.
Republic.
Trying to get to Jamaica. For sure.
Where else have I been? I've been Cayman Islands. Been Canada.
Me too.
Iceland.
I forgot I'm in Canada.
I think that's about it.
It's probably because the airports like just treat me rough, so I ain't been Canada.
I feel like everyone gets treated rough in the Canadian airport.
Right?
I
don't
think,
know what it
especially as
is.
Bermudians, I feel like we probably get treated the worst. But yeah, those are the places that I've been. What I can say is there's no place like Bermuda. From traveling I've been St. Vincent as well. There's no place like Bermuda. Like these
No,
islands may be
it's not.
bigger than ours, but ours is clean. It smells nice. Like the scenery is beautiful. Like I mean, in some other countries, yeah, the scenery is going to be different. It's still beautiful, but it's different because you got the mountains and stuff like that. But no place like home.
Definitely, I feel the same. Like, I would never like live somewhere else permanently.
Really?
Like, I would live somewhere else, but I always come back.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Like,
Same thing for me because I just feel like I need to live somewhere else in the world just to say I've done it, to try it. see how my businesses can expand because Bermuda's only so limited. But Bermuda will always be home. I'll always be back.
For sure. For
Like
sure, for
always. It
sure.
doesn't matter where I'm staying in the world. I will definitely vacation in Bermuda, but I don't think I can just live here until
Forever.
yeah, not for like
Nope.
maybe I'll come back and retire here, but
Hmm.
not in my working years. I don't think, because
Hmm. Yeah. I plan on having a house here and then a house somewhere else.
right.
So I could just bounce back and forward.
Are you looking to buy your own or a family house or
Buy. Or not even buy, but build. I want to build.
okay,
I'm just noticing I'm into architecture.
okay.
Like,
Well, it makes sense
it's
because you're into
just,
art.
it's just sexy. Like, if
Yeah,
it's done right.
exactly. If it's done right, it's
Hmm.
amazing.
And
Um,
I don't like right angles. And it's too much right angles in regular architecture.
what do you mean by that?
Like
Like a corner?
corner
Oh,
her,
so you just have a
straight walls. I would have a lot of curves and bends and organic shapes.
okay.
Hmm.
That would be actually kind of lit. It would be interesting to see that here,
Right.
especially with the way that we build our houses
Hmm.
with the blocks and
I'm
everything.
gonna figure out how to finesse around it.
I mean,
Hmm.
when you think about it, right? The cement block is made out of a mold. So if you make a round mold, it's gonna come out round, right?
Hmm.
So I
Okay.
don't see it being impossible. It's just gonna take
You just gotta figure out
convincing of the people that make
you
the
feel me? You
stuff.
gotta find them loopholes when you're talking to planning and all that.
Exactly.
I got
Uh,
you.
so you say you had 3 art shows. We spoke about the first one. What was the second one?
So the first one was the 441, and then a second one. I think I only had two actually. I'm thinking.
It was just the
These,
last one.
yeah, but I feel like I've done more. But that's probably just because I'm always in my studio just working. I probably throw like myself little art shows. But the second one was my first ever solo show, and
Okay.
that was at
And
Masterworks
that was called
last
All
year.
Players Spiritual, right?
Yeah, all
Okay.
play spiritual. Last year at Masterworks, again in October. Um, that was a amazing experience. Like all emotions in one.
Yeah.
So like frustration, love, gratitude, um, headaches, but all like more good things than bad there.
Okay,
For
that's
sure,
good.
for sure. I learned a lot about like installing and stuff like this.
So, what was that process like? Creating the art for the show, then having the show, and then what happens after the show?
Hmm. Creating the art is always the easy part for me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not thinking too hard. I always have things that I want to create, or I always have just sparks
Mm-hmm.
within myself, and I just have to express. I have to
Okay.
put it on something, or I have to form something out of it.
Right.
Because if not, then I feel like I'm gonna go crazy.
Hmm.
It's not a good feeling. And then the process of setting it up. That was the next part. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
process of setting it up. That's what I had to learn because it's just I had to basically take charge and be like, okay, this might look better here. But then I had lovely help or amazing help from lovely Jasmine
Okay.
that works at Masterworks. Because if I was just like, okay, I think I like this one here and that one there, she was just like, well, maybe we should try this and that because she's got the eye for that already.
Right.
So she taught me a lot of ways to install things too. And then time. If you don't have the right amount of time, just know stress is coming. I try not to stress though, but
So, did you run out of time or close to
ish.
it?
Yeah, I was putting up paintings wet. I put up one painting wet.
What?
Yeah, it was.
Like, was that because you wanted to add it to the show, or it was supposed to be done
It was
before,
supposed to
and
be
then you just
done,
didn't do it?
but it was a whole thing where one of the rooms wasn't ready. Not one of the rooms, but the room wasn't ready in time. So I had to focus on doing that instead of painting
Hmm.
because the room wasn't ready on time.
Okay. Um. What was the question I just had? You had somewhere where people wrote on.
Yes.
What was the reasoning behind that?
The reason behind that, I just wanted to give people the space to express themselves, because the space and the time to express themselves, because I know people don't usually find time to express themselves by themselves. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
People, anytime I ask somebody like, oh, when's the last time you did this, or when's the last time you drawn or wrote something, and it's just like, oh, I can't never find the time for it, so here you go, like, I'm got a show going on.
Right.
I want everybody that comes here to express themselves. Take
Mm-hmm.
this time out because you took time out for me, so thank you.
Right.
Now take time out for yourself.
Okay.
So that's what that
So
was.
what did you do with
With
that?
it,
Yeah.
I haven't done anything with it yet. It's sitting in my studio, and
So was it a full banner or was it three parts to it?
it was a full banner.
Okay.
Just went around the wall.
Banner. Okay.
Yeah. Sitting at my studio, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it.
'Cause that's a big banner though.
Right? It's huge. It's huge.
It may be like I feel like if it was three separate pieces, like one per wall,
Mm-hmm.
it might be easier to distribute in a sense. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
you could put a higher price tag on it. Cause
I'm not gonna sell it.
well,
Mm-mm.
sorry, my thinking is if you were gonna
No, I
sell
got
it,
you.
then
I
it
got
would have
you.
been easier that way. But then now
Mhm.
you just need the space to put it up
Mm-hmm.
because it's so big. Where did you get that banner from? Because it was
I honestly got it from Masterworks. They had some
this.
canvas just left over, and I was just like,
Okay.
well, can I get the biggest one you got?
Okay, and it just fit.
Yeah.
That's nice. Um, how would you say the sales went? Like, hold on. Did you go into the art show looking to sell pieces or just to showcase your art?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. So, were you satisfied with the turnout that you had for people coming to see your art?
Oh, I was blown away for sure.
Okay.
Like, I didn't expect anything for real, but the amount of people that did come out to like support
Right.
was crazy. Like, it was packed. I had to even like leave my art show to go outside and breathe because
there
it
was
was
that many
so
people?
packed inside.
And this was the opening night?
Opening night, yeah. And then throughout the week, it was a good bit of people because I just go every once in a while when there was
Right.
people there.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard about it from Dion. Because I think I
My boy.
interviewed him the day before that.
Okay, the day
so
before the
that's
show.
so that's how I found out about the show. So it's like
Gotcha.
okay. I think I was working the opening night. So it's like I have to make sure I go, and then that's when I met you. That's when I came. So what would you say the outcome was with the sales? You don't have to put a
Outcome
number
with
on
the
it, but,
sales, it was alright. It was
like
alright.
how many pieces?
How many pieces sold? About 5.
5.
About 5,
Oh
roughly.
yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And you had maybe what 15 in total, something like that.
About that, I would say about that. About 15 or 20. Because
Did
I had like
any-
pieces hanging too.
Right. Did any of the sculptures sell?
No.
No.
Sadly, but I'm figuring out a way to get them sold. Or just get them installed in different places.
Right. That's what I was thinking. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know. I think is it Hamilton Princess that showcases a lot of local art.
I
Is
don't
it
know if
them?
it's a lot.
Okay. Well, they promote themselves as showcasing.
I know
local art without
Carlos
being-
Santana is in there for sure.
Okay.
But I don't know who else is in
Would
there.
you see yourself?
I would
with
love to
art
see
there?
it. So holla at me. I would love to see like my sculptures.
Yeah, I think
in
the
there.
sculptures would go nice
In
in the lobby or somewhere.
It's Bermudian art coming from a youngin.
Oh yeah.
Come on. Support us.
What happened with Free the Guys?
Free the guys. That was another thing. I haven't found the right materials. I want everything to be perfect. When it comes to clothes, I'm that guy.
Okay.
When it comes to garments and that side of my brand, I need everything to be perfect. When it comes to art, I let mistakes happen.
Okay.
But you don't want to get a shirt or a hoodie and it's like falling apart and stuff.
Right.
Like, you don't want those mistakes.
Exactly.
Or it's like if you're getting something embroidered and then the line goes away, you don't want this. So I've been just studying and also talking to a lot of different manufacturers to
Okay.
clear them up.
So would you look at maybe creating the clothing yourself?
Yes and no. I don't have the time.
Fair enough.
Because I'm sculpting, I'm painting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then you're
Right.
telling me I'm gotta sew. And not just sew, I'm gotta pattern make.
Right.
And then sew.
And then all of that.
Like, I'm gonna source fabrics, materials. Yeah, that's a lot. So that's why I just have a manufacturer handle it
Okay.
that I trust.
Understandable. You were selling sweaters at one point, right? Are you still
Yes.
selling those? Or?
The almost sold out. I probably only have like 5 left,
Okay,
but they're
nice.
all extra large.
Yeah. So it's only size extra large left.
Only size extra large left
So how
of the
did
knit garments.
that come about within those?
Um, Honestly, how I done that, I was just asking myself, what is something I would want to create? Um, Clothing within the clothing realm, and how would I do it? And I just thought, like, I like to be comfortable and I like to be warm. So in the winter, so
Where
sweater, like, why not a oversized, like, drop shoulder sweater? Because sometimes I like when my sweaters go over my hands a bit, because then I could just tuck them up and they're warm for a bit. You get
Exactly.
me?
So where did someone make them locally, or you
No,
found a
I got them
manufacturer for that?
sourced. Yeah. So I done all the sizing and measurements for how I wanted everything to fit on a body.
Okay.
And then I sent it over to a manufacturer and got them to do it.
Okay.
Did the design and everything for them, and then I sent it over.
And
Yeah.
that manufacturer did exactly what you wanted? Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
Not
So
So you don't go
we
back.
went through like samples. Yeah.
Right.
But they didn't mess up too bad. So we only had to do 2 samples, and then
Okay.
they were done. We were
Alright.
perfect.
That's good. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions for you. What's one way that you keep... No. Oh, what's one way that you keep your business afloat?
As in my podcast?
Yeah.
I just keep putting money into it. At
Keep
this
investing
point,
in self.
At this point, literally, it just all comes down to me investing in myself. But I am looking for sponsors. For this year, it costs roughly $100 per episode to run the podcast, basically, including the added to the website, the hosting site, different things like that. So if I can get a sponsor that will cover the whole year, perfect. Or if they just want to sponsor 1 or 2 episodes,
Like a season or something.
yeah, something like that, that's fine. So basically, it's roughly $100 per episode.
Got you.
So every week, put $100 into this. I just keep going and
Keep pushing.
until I get myself some sponsors. But this year I will be launching some merch, so that should help.
Okay, yeah.
That should help with it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Multiple revenues, right?
most
Count 'em
definitely.
in however you can.
By any means necessary at this point.
Yeah, I'm working on another way of, or another revenue myself.
Okay.
I want to get into like collectibles, like how you could collect cause statues, like the little toys.
Right.
Who else has collectibles that people know of? Because I can like go too deep into the art realm. So I know this lady. No, I'm gonna just stay with Cause. People know Cause and his little skeleton people, and he's got those big statues at Hamilton Princess.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
he usually has like smaller ones that you collect. You could collect.
You talking about the one that's outside?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Any more questions for me?
Questions for you. What some girls do you have for yourself? For the short-term girls.
Short-term girls.
And then after that, long-term.
Okay, so short-term for myself or for the podcast?
I feel like yourself would be the podcast. So whichever way you want to think about it.
So For the podcast, short-term goal is to, well, travel to London. I want to do 8 interviews while I'm there, so I need to find 8
Okay.
people to interview
Mm-hmm.
for the podcast.
Would they be local or doesn't matter?
What do you mean in London?
Yeah, like local. Like would they be Bermudian?
It don't matter to me.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I intend on my podcast being worldwide.
Got you.
So I intend on traveling the world for this podcast, just to
Mm-hmm.
speak to young melanated, well, not just young, but melanated individuals, about what their journey has been in life.
Mm-hmm.
If they have a business, how about their business? And I also want people that can help educate us on how to invest, how to save better, different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the information is out there. People that look like us are in these positions. We just need to find them.
Definitely.
So
And
that's
start conversations with them.
exactly, and that's why I created the podcast. Is because when I was trying to learn about investing in business, I was always learning from a white man. I was like, I'm tired of this.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of me complaining about it, I'm doing something about it. So that's the whole point of the podcast. But another short term goal would be to host like a networking event,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be done locally. I intend on that to be local. I want to do it at least twice this year.
Okay.
And then maybe do like a live podcast recording type thing as well. On top of that,
That'll be cool.
I think that's it for short term goals.
And long term.
Long term, full time, doing traveling the world,
Okay.
interviewing people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll only be able to do that with the help of donors. Realistically, I keep thinking, should I put this as a charity or leave it as like a business, like a
Mm-hmm.
for-profit business? But right now, I don't really want any money from the podcast because I want to help make a change before I even start taking money from it. So any money that I do get is going straight into it. I don't need,
Straight into the podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't like, I'm putting my money into it. I obviously don't need the money right now. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically investing it. But yeah, I think long term, full time, traveling the world, connecting, networking,
Mm-hmm.
melanated individuals, and just going from there.
Got you. How long have you been interviewing people?
So I started in 2021. Hold on. Shoot, we're in 2023 now. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to start this podcast in 2021. And I couldn't get anyone to interview. So I had to put it on the back burner.
Why was this?
Why?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a timing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I asked people again at the end of 2021 and they all said yes. Versus earlier in the year, it was a no.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll let you know. Versus then I asked again later in the year. It was, November in 2021 that I was asking again. And people were like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll be interested. Let's set this up. So I didn't actually start doing interviews until January because, the holidays and whatnot. So then I had to follow up with people again. And since then, I've consistently been able to get people to agree to come onto the podcast. I feel like I said, it all has to do with the timing because otherwise, if I didn't say, let me try this again, it wouldn't be here. But because I did, we're here now. So
For sure. You
Yeah.
gotta stay consistent.
yes,
Stay
definitely.
consistent and don't let anything like get you down at all.
Most definitely. Because like now it's like I always have to try and find someone to interview. So maybe if I can find one person that be like, hey, look, I need a filler episode. Come, let's just have a conversation about something. I think that may work. That may help with keeping them every week.
Got you.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for any young melanated? Don't have to be young, like she said. But melanated people on like better money management or like
Money management. Ooh,
you
that's
feel
a
me?
topic I like. Basically, don't spend more than you have. That's the first rule of thumb. If you don't have it, don't spend it. Period. To saving, I would say, like starting off, just save $100 out of your paycheck. Doesn't like even if your paycheck's $200, bro, save 100. Just save it because at the end of the day, if you consistently do $100, if you get paid weekly, that's what more than $5,000 at the end of the year. That's $5,200 at the end of the year. You got
Mm-hmm.
$5,200 that you wouldn't have otherwise seen all at in
If you
one
didn't do
place
that.
if you did not do it. If you can't afford 100, start with 5. Like seriously, start with
Mm-hmm.
something. Just start somewhere. Even if you get like a pure water jar or just a jar, and you just put it in there whenever you have the extra, and then count it at the end of the year. You'll be surprised how much money you have if you stayed consistent with it.
For
Because
sure.
if you're not consistent, then you ain't gonna see no results.
You're gonna still have that same $5 bill you put in there.
Exactly. What else would I say about money management? Think about what you spend your money on, because I feel like a lot of people just spend their money just
Mhm.
because they have it sometimes, and even when they don't have it, people are just spending it, right? So if you're a little more conscious of what you're spending your money on, then you would think twice about it.
Mhm.
Like for me, I was getting, like, I've never owned a pair of Jordans, right?
Got
And
you.
I was like, let me go get this pair of Jordans. Let me go look at, because it was a new sneaker store in St. George's, right? I was
Mhm.
called One Life Sneaker Plug, something like that. And I was like, let me go see what they got. And I saw these pair of Jordans, and they matched perfectly with something that I just got for my clothing brand.
Mhm.
I was like,
Oh, this
yes.
is the one, isn't it?
But they didn't have my size.
Okay.
So now I was like, man, am I gonna spend this money for these shoes to be tight on my feet? Like, am I really gonna spend $200 for this? And I was just like, I can't. Like, really, realistically, I can't. Like, it doesn't make sense. You're only gonna wear the shoes probably once because it can hurt your feet.
Mhm.
So if you had my size, then maybe I would have went back and spent that money. But at the same time, I was also like, it was right before Christmas. I had to buy Christmas gifts. I had like a few outings to go to, and I had to really think.
Yeah.
Even if they did fit me,
The season when you
is
gotta
it
out money.
is it really worth me buying this right now versus over experiences with my friends and my family?
Mhm.
So you have to make that choice. Like some
You
people just would
definitely
have spent
do.
the money and missed out going
No,
hanging
they
out with
would
your
have spent the
friends.
money, still went, and then been in debt.
Yes,
they
that too.
they would have
That
did that.
too. So it's like, yeah, it's like for me, I'm very conscious about my spending. Like what my one of my coworkers said to me the other day, yeah, because you're broke. I said, no, it was talking about someone that is
Mhm.
broke, right?
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, you're broke like them. I said, don't be fooled. I act broke.
Come
Acting
on.
broke and being broke are
Come
two
on. Come
different
on. Come on.
things.
Come on. Come on.
I act broke because what I'm trying to do is different from what you're trying to
Bro,
do.
I
Like,
wear
you know what
these
I mean?
shoes every day if I had to.
Exactly. Like I
And
don't.
that don't mean I ain't got the money to get more.
It's just I'm choosing not to. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, that. Just don't spend more than what you have, and be honest about what you truly have, because what you have and what someone else has is completely different.
Mhm.
You don't know what's in that bank account at the end of the day. So
Never.
yeah, that would be my advice on money management. Beginning of money management.
Money management 101. No, that's cool. And that's like a nice, easy way to introduce it to.
Yeah,
Anybody should understand that. Anybody.
yeah. Don't spend more on what you have. Find a dollar amount that you can consistently put away, and then go from there. Guarantee if you do it for 1 year, you can do it for another,
Mm-hmm.
because you won't even notice it after that point. So that's what I do. I can't lie. I do. Last year I invested like 20K
Mm-hmm.
just because I have it, so it just comes automatically. I do $400 a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
It's a lot. Like I feel it. Like that's why I say I live broke on purpose, right?
For sure.
My ulterior motive is to invest more. So 20K gets invested by the end of the year. So stay consistent. You'll see results. Like even remember I was saying like I do stuff and I don't actually look at it. So someone asked me, because I was talking about one of my dividends, and someone was like, "Oh well, how much did you make in total?" It's like, you know what? That's a good question. Let me figure this out real quick. It's like $1,300 passive, passively
Mm-hmm.
making $1,300 a year. So now if I put another 20K in next year, it should be like $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like so compound interest, consistency,
For sure.
so that matters.
For sure. And then having faith in self.
That too.
Because you can't do it and be scary.
Yeah,
You can't do
have
it and
to.
have fear in your heart.
You have to believe in yourself for sure. I feel like that also comes down to knowing your why. Knowing why you are doing something, not why someone else is doing it, but knowing why you are doing it. Because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in your why, then it will never work. And I feel like that goes with anything in life.
Mm-hmm. That was a good way
Ultimately.
to put it.
Yeah,
What is your why? Figure that out.
yeah. Once
And
you
that
figure
what
that out, everything would go
will
fall
fall
into
in line,
place.
right?
And I could say that's what happened with the podcast as well. So like, yeah, other people's timing was off, but maybe my timing was off as well. Like I wasn't really sure of why I was doing this, but then I took the time to figure that out, and I got to where I am now. So know your why, and everything fall into place for you.
Yeah, audience, find your why. What is your why?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
What is your why?
What is my why? My why, I have, I'm just gonna be like abstract with my why
Okay.
because it's very out there.
Mm-hmm.
So my why is to inspire every and anybody, but mainly Bermudian, black, not just black, but melanated. Let's say that melanated Bermudians. Doesn't have to be them. You could be a white Bermudian too. I want to inspire Bermudians because we're amazing,
Yeah.
and we don't really realize that. We don't really realize how amazing we are. Something is magical about us. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you feel it, but I'm sure you do because you're doing this. Like, you found your
Exactly.
why and you're following
Yeah.
what you gotta do.
There's something special about us, and the world doesn't know that yet.
But some people in the world do know that because that's why if you look at Bermudians that are consistent with their why or consistent with their passion, they're usually at the top of wherever they're at.
True.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You got, I don't know how to say her name properly. Shone?
Cheyenne. Ooh. I know you're talking about
No
Trini.
disrespect.
Trini. Ooh. Cheyenne that. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not
I
sure.
don't
I'm
know
not
how to
positive.
pronounce it properly.
That's how it's
But
spelled. Cheyenne that.
shout out to her.
Yeah,
Because she's doing her thing.
Yeah, I feel like she's helping put Bermuda on the map in a sense, in the fashion industry, movie industry, because she's there for all these big movies. Like,
Exactly.
I think she did the whole design for Queen and Slim, and that was a big movie when it came out.
Yeah,
So
the movie
it's
did
like,
numbers.
yeah,
And then it did numbers in the melanated community. Like, it was a good movie for people to just be like, yo, we're going to go see this one here.
right. And then I think recently she
I think she's
she did something with Black Panther. She did one of the leads. She designed or coordinated the girl's outfit for all of
Okay.
the press releases and stuff like
Got
that
you.
from Black Panther 2.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing a write up about her being involved with that. So definitely at the top.
And then if you even look back, you got Paulu Kamarika Fago.
I don't know who that is.
That is,
I need
you
to
gotta do your
educate
research. You gotta do your
myself on that.
research because that was an amazing Bermudian man.
What did he do?
He was basically I don't want to say that, but I was gonna say he was basically like a savior for real. But that's just me like super super duper glorifying it.
Where?
But he honestly was a black power, educate the people, educate ourselves, and
So would you say this was during like the Black Panther era? Well, after.
I don't want to get my dates wrong, so I'm not gonna say nothing.
Okay, that's cool.
But
No problem.
yeah, I know probably one of the first Black Power meetings happened in Bermuda,
Yep.
and
That's
he
true.
was one of the people that helped coordinate it.
Okay, so I probably heard the name before. Probably because I read that book. Ooh, what was it called? I'm calling myself Elf again because I read this book like last year, I think. It has to do with the assassination of the governor.
Oh, okay.
I forget the name
Is
of
it
it.
the Island Flame one? I haven't read that one
No,
yet, so
not that
it's
one.
not that one.
It's the other one. It's literally sitting right there. But anyway, basically the book, it was talking about like how and why the governor was assassinated and how they had all these different meetings, how the Black Panther was like how they had these meetings on this island and then going other places to do what they're gonna do and then come back type stuff. So it's interesting that you said that.
Bruh. We just have to
We just have to
it's
find the
not, it's
information.
crazy how small Bermuda is and how easy they hide this information from us.
It's right in front
And
of our
easy how
faces.
hard, like how it's just very easy for some reason that this information gets lost in the triangle. You get me? Because
Literally.
you feel me? Like, because we live here. Like, this was not too long ago. Like,
Nope.
our grandparents, like, probably played ball with these guys.
Most definitely.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But Paulu Kamaraka Fago, he, like, like, after he got into trouble in Bermuda, but he didn't really get into trouble. He is just basically enlightening his people. And then he left Bermuda because they was trying to pick him up for the killing of the government
Right.
or the
Of the
governor.
governor, yeah.
So he cut.
Yes.
But as he cut, he went to countries and he helped the impoverished people in those countries and the melanated people of those countries.
Right.
Like one of the places he went to was Fiji. Went to the indigenous people and he showed them how to like catch water because they didn't have any clean water to drink for
Right.
real.
Yeah.
So he showed them how to like set up some sort of contraption. Don't want to say contraption, but some sort of.
Way to get
Yeah.
the water.
But he did that all around the world, everywhere he traveled. And then he was about to be exiled from Fiji, so he had to leave to go somewhere else. So it's just like, bro, this guy was a world traveler, and everywhere he went, he helped the less fortunate people.
Right.
And they had melanated skin.
That's dope.
He was in Australia. I could just list off so many countries, but I'm gonna start.
So where would you say you got all this information about him from?
Um,
So that I can educate myself and
this
the listeners.
he's got a few books, but the one I have read is called. They call him Roos.
Okay.
They call him Roos.
And you got that here or somewhere else?
I got that here.
Okay.
I got that here.
I feel like Brown and Co's Bermuda book section is slept on.
It definitely is.
And
It definitely
Like
is.
I know what books I want to read this year, but I think I might add in some more local books, because
Same.
local and or just Black history in general, you know. Because I need to educate myself some more because I feel like our school system has failed us,
Oh, definitely.
especially
On purpose.
especially with our own history.
On purpose. Because why would been learn about America?
We're not even American citizens.
Well,
If
not
anything,
even that. Like, come
If
on.
anything, it was British history, but no, they want us to learn about America.
It didn't never made sense. Never made sense to me.
All right. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to discuss?
Ways to cultivate Black excellence.
Ways to cultivate Black excellence. All right. Elaborate.
So, like, basically just getting creative and trying to figure out, like, what's some steps we can take to get closer to Black excellence within Bermuda.
Okay.
To start off within Bermuda, because we can't focus on the world.
Yeah, most definitely.
We can start off with our hand.
What would be some ideas you have?
Some ideas I have is to start off young and to teach your kids about self-love and just educate your kids properly. Like, it doesn't matter you're sending them to school because clearly school doesn't educate you on the things that really matter.
Right.
So you have to do this in your household. So if people are doing this, like a good bit of people are doing this in the household, because not everybody's going to do it.
Right.
Some people are lazy. I'm just going to call them out. But if majority or a good bit of people are doing that, those kids are going to teach their friends that don't really get taught that.
Right.
I feel.
Yeah, I mean, that comes back to the money thing you was talking about, right? When you look at a white household versus a Black household, the white children are being taught how to save or how to invest. They're being, or at least they're watching it from their parents. In a Black household, you don't see that. You see your parents struggling for money. You see your parents spending money on your Jordans that you don't really need, like, you know, different things like that. I think just systematically, but just it starts from there. So I mean, yes, we need to educate our kids, but we need to educate ourselves first.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So that too. But the ones that are educated already,
Yes, then educate your kids.
do your kids type like show your kids what
Show
going.
your kids and show your kids friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because then at the
Even
end,
yeah.
because
Like when
then
the friends
yeah,
around the
your friends
house.
at the house, you teach them too. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna take that back home to their parents. Oh look, this is what I learned today.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe they're teaching their parents, or maybe the parents can have something to add on to
You
it. So
feel
next
me?
time child comes over, oh look, this is what I learned on top of what you taught me, type thing.
Mm-hmm. So that's definitely one way we can achieve that, or we can like get to the next step.
Yeah, I think also more gatherings of
For sure, for sure.
intellectual people,
Mm-hmm.
not just coming out to drink, but coming out to talk and have real
Yeah.
conversations. You know, I feel like that's where we're lacking, and I feel like that's why I just stay home because I'm past that stage of going out and just drinking and not having a conversation, like a real conversation versus gossiping and type stuff.
Like a conversation of some substance.
Substance, yes. So I feel like that's somewhere we could start to start helping with more people to acknowledge their black accents.
Definitely.
And it doesn't mean you have to be like a business owner. You don't have to be a creative. You just have to excel in whatever it is that you are doing, whatever you enjoy. As long as you're excelling in that, black excellence.
For sure. Even if you're not excelling, pull up. Like
That's
you
it.
still this.
Yeah.
You're still this. You just gotta realize it. Cause just because somebody over here is fond of passion and they're just like rocketing in that lane, just because you're not rocketing, that doesn't mean you don't have that same shit.
Exactly.
I could
Yours is
curse.
just different. Oh, he's a pretty.
Whoops.
It's coming good. Yeah, that's definitely, and I feel like that's also why I want to host events this year as
Yeah,
well.
I just saw it in my head as soon as you
And
said that. I was just like, wow, she's got
that's
this.
exactly why I want to host events. You could say it's kind of selfish, but at the same time, I'm trying to get myself in rooms with people
It's
that
not
are smarter
selfish at
than me.
all.
So by me doing that, I'm helping the people that are following me. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I don't, like I said, I don't want the money. I want knowledge.
Yeah.
And to share knowledge with whoever I can, whoever
That's not
wants
selfish
to learn
at
it.
all, because you're filling that room, and everybody that's coming in that room is taking something
True.
of substance, like
Very
taking
true.
something you can learn from,
Yeah.
taking something that you can grow something with, right? You're taking
Yeah.
water home to water your plants, your seeds.
Basically,
Come
yeah.
on.
Exactly. You're right. I'm not wrong. All right. So, anything else you want to discuss? Or?
I want to ask the audience, think about it. Like, what are some ways that you think might help us cultivate black excellence within Bermuda? And where you put this? YouTube.
Yeah.
Drop
YouTube.
it in the comments.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's talk about it. You feel me? Let's build a community. Because that's what this should be doing. And
Most
that's what this is doing. You get me? So, the more you post, the more people will come through and be like, oh, I'm really fucking with this. Whoops. I didn't say that. I'm really messing with this.
It's funny that you say that the more I post, because like I launched the podcast in August, but I've only really seen growth, I want to say, from like November to now. And it's interesting that, because like I was posting before and I was posting more than I was, but now I'm posting less and getting more engagement. So yeah, it's posting, just staying consistent, really.
Consistency is key.
Telling you, that's my word
With
for the year.
anything you do. That's why I like the number 8, because it reminds me of being consistent with whatever.
That's interesting you say
Taking
that, because
time out.
my favorite, because playing football, I always wanted number 8. But no real reason. Like, I know my cousin, he was a professional footballer. He wore number 8. So that's where it started. But after
Okay.
that, it was just like, nah, 8's my number. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's
8's your
interesting
number. You got it. Like,
that
you're
you
on the
giving
right
it
path.
that way. Like, I never even thought about it in that aspect. But it's interesting the way things align and whatnot.
For sure, because you're doing what you gotta do. So it's going to, like, it was always there, but it's going to show yourself the more you
Right.
are on your path.
Most definitely. All right, so I'm just going to go through the closing questions that I asked everyone.
Cool.
So what advice would you give 18-year-old you about what you're doing now?
I would say create more. Like, just go crazy. Like, just go keep creating. And don't, about 18-year-old me was already finished with like high school. I was just like, I don't care about this. But I still passed and did my thing. But I'll just say, yeah, keep creating. Create as much as possible. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. Consistency is key.
All right. What advice would you give our listeners on entrepreneurship?
Some
Wait, do you
advice.
consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Uh, I guess I fall in the category.
Right. That's why. That's because I would have just changed the word to creator because you're more of a creative.
Yeah.
So let's switch it up. What advice would you give our listeners on creating,
On
being a
creating.
creative?
Honestly, it all comes down to creating what you want. Don't create what you think people want or what you think people might like. Doesn't matter. Create what you want to see in the world. Create what you want to make. Express yourself, because we're living for ourselves, right? We could also inspire other people. Like, we're not thinking about that selfishly. Because as you're doing what you want to do, you're inspiring other people to do things too, to do what they want to do. And maybe it might help them in how they advance in life with whatever you're creating. But if you would have made something that you thought people liked, it wouldn't play in the same way. It would be tainted.
All right. What's next for you and Insecure?
For me and the brand, more shows 2023.
How many?
How many? Don't want to disclose. No, I'm just joking. I just don't know. I know I'm gonna have shows there, more than one.
Okay.
Um, Collectible figures for sure, for sure, for sure. Shout out Janos. I'm working with this amazing 3D designer. Um, what else? What else? What else I got planned? And just stay tuned for real, cause I'm always doing something amazing.
As always. What would you say to your future self 5 years from now?
What was I say to him?
So you can look back at this 5 years from now, and this is the advice that you have for yourself.
Okay. Advice I have for myself in the future. You better be drawing every day. You better be doing something every day, creative. Every day. Like, it don't matter how ill you are or how ill you get. Every day. Um, yeah, consistency is key. Come on. Like, come on.
Literally. Lastly, where do you see yourself and your business in 5 years' time?
5 years time, I see myself displaying art or having artworks displayed around the world, like different countries. Um, Being invited to different countries to create artworks. And yeah, to be invited to different countries to be a part of shows and stuff. Right? So that's some stuff. That's a few things. I could keep rambling, but I'm gonna stop.
All right. Any more questions for me?
Where do you see yourself
In 5
in
years?
5 years? You and the podcast.
5 years, I will be a millionaire. Not from this podcast, but I will be a millionaire.
Heard that. Okay.
Podcasts, like you said, traveling and recording podcasts full time. Personally, clothing brand would be running itself. It wouldn't need me anymore. Yeah, chilling. Chilling and recording podcasts, speaking to melanated individuals, and living my best life.
Shout out to the millionaire. Listen to this. Watch this 5 years from now.
Telling you, 5 years from now, man.
Shout out to the millionaire. You did it.
Thank
You did it.
Thank you.
You did it.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for coming out today
Thank you for inviting me.
and giving out some time to the Black Excellence Club podcast.
Thank you for inviting me to this
And,
amazing
yeah.
podcast.
Hope to see you at our first event.
For sure, I'm gonna be there. As long as I'm like on island. I'm gonna be there.
As long as you're not, because you like to travel too,
You
right?
feel me?